Welcome back, vinyl community. Got a special singles update for you today. 7-inch, 45 RPM styly. Seen a lot of 45s shown in the vinyl community lately. Thought I'd jump on. Nice to see. Bringing us in with some dub. 1970s. Recent arrival. Gonna show a few singles I picked up kind of over the last little while. 45s have always been part of my vinyl collecting. I think the very first record I ever bought on my own was a 45. Not gonna tell you what it was. Okay, it was Gloria by Laura Branigan. Still have it. So always been part of my collecting. Maybe I don't show it quite as often in my regular videos as the LPs. Dub from King Tubby's right here, mid-70s I believe. Found this in a local shop, just a few bucks. Tune is called Words of Prophecy by Tony Brevet on Israel Rockers label with version side from King Tubby's. Tony Brevet was a founding member of the Melodians harmony group. Started out kind of in the rock steady days. They kind of reached their commercial peak when they worked for Duke Reed's Treasure Isle label. One of their greatest hits for that label is another recent find, online this time. You've Caught Me Baby by the Melodians. Treasure Isle label with Tommy McCook and the Supersonics on the version side. Following their time at Treasure Isle, they would move to Leslie Kong's Beverly's label, where they had one of their biggest hits with Rivers of Babylon, adapted from some lyrics from the Bible. That song later appeared on the Harder They Come soundtrack, which was hugely influential in breaking reggae to an international audience. And that song, Rivers of Babylon, was later covered by the disco group Boney M, with reportedly no royalties to the Melodians, who split kind of in the early to mid-70s, went their solo ways with Brent Dow and Tony Brevet there recording their solo sides before reuniting for the occasional comeback. Melodians can be found anthologized on this nice LP, The Melodians, Sweet Sensation, which appeared on the Mango label, and collects some of their sides from Leslie Kong, including Rivers of Babylon. So a nice collection of the Melodians. Some more singles I picked up. I had a bit of a haul online recently. Got these quite cheap, as I said. Just a few bucks each. I think maybe the most expensive one was like $8. Picked up two by Raphael Tomlinson on the Munch label. Very obscure artist. This Situation. Version side on the flip, as always. And also another one by him. Ram Scram. Two nice roots songs. One of those artists that kind of came out, recorded a couple of sides, and then vanished from sight, never to be heard from again. As far as Discogs reveals, that's his entire discography right there. This Situation actually appeared on this compilation from the Maccasound label in 2004, Wanted, collection of previously unreleased tracks, and it includes Raphael Tomlinson, This Situation. This compilation came out, was quickly withdrawn again due to legal rights disputes apparently with one or more of the songs. It was kind of a various artists comp, various producers. The legal rights were kind of thorny and apparently not fully ironed out for that release, so it quickly disappeared, unfortunately. Another one, Morwell Records, the Morwell Esquire, otherwise known as the Morwells Group, kind of eventually evolved into the Roots Radix, which were the preeminent backing band of the early 1980s. This is a tune called Educate Your Mind, with dub version on the flip, Dub the Esquire. Big tune here, was happy to get this one. Dennis Brown, Want to Be No General, bit of label wear there, plays pretty good. All of these play pretty well, actually. Don't Want to Be No General, heavy tune from him on his own DEB music label. Version on the flip. First came into contact with this song on this compilation that appeared on the Blood and Fire label, Dennis Brown, The Promised Land. This is 2002 and includes Wanna Be No General along with The Blazing Toast by Ranking Dread. Gonna try and move through these fairly quickly. On the Thing label, Sang Hugh, Rasta Nobornia. Sang Hugh is better known as Keith Morgan. Don't think he ever recorded an LP, but had a string of hit singles, of which this is probably one of his best. And that was produced by 90 The Observer, although it appeared on Lloyd Spider-Man Campbell's The Thing label. Must have been a Marvel Comics fan. And that tune is anthologized on various 90 The Observer compilations, including on this one, Rock On, Greatest Hits from the Observer label, and appears on the track listing there. Couple from Carlton Patterson's Black and White label, Ringo with Push Lady Push, later one at 1981 there, and from a few years before, a classic by Carlton himself, Not Responsible, kind of a more plaintive tune, Psalms of Dub by King Tubby's. Carlton Patterson was kind of known for his King Tubby's flip sides. One from Mikey Dread's Dread at the Controls label, early one from him, late 70s I believe. Bright and Beautiful by Sugar Minot, backed with dub from Mikey himself, Remote Control. The rhythm track of this appears on one of the Mikey Dread albums, his early albums. I'd have to investigate further. Can't recall the track name off the top of my head, but it's definitely on one of those. Did a video spotlight on Mikey Dread quite a while back. Tamarind Farm by Mighty Diamonds on the Hot Rod label. Kind of a cool label design. Classic here on the Channel 1's Disco Mix imprint. This is The Meditations with Woman is Like a Shadow. Not very feminist lyric, but kind of a classic hit tune of the time, if reflective of its time. A very obscure artist again, Enos MacLeod, I'll Forgive You, on the Soul Beat label. I think this was his own label, or he was involved with it in some capacity. Enos MacLeod, very obscure. He was anthologized early on from Pressure Sounds, one of their very first releases actually. Pressure Sounds 8, Enos MacLeod, The Genius of Enos, long deleted compilation, kind of hard to find. Even when I was picking these up, it was already tough to find. Showed this one in my recent spotlight on Slim Smith. Bunny Lee production on the Attack label. Slim Smith with The Beatitude and Slip Away on the other side. Further Bunny Lee productions, Johnny Clark, Don't Stay Out Late. Jackpot, again a Bunny Lee label. An early version on the flip side, Jammy and the Aggravators. Aggravators, Bunny Lee's house band. Prince Jammy, dub mixer, apprentice of King Tubby. And then absolute classic here, love the texture on this label. Early Attack label, Enter Into His Gates with Praise by Johnny Clark. Flying cymbal sound of Bunny Lee in full effect here. Title track of one of his LPs, and one of the greatest dub titles, This The Hardest version, King Tubby and the Aggravators. And indeed it is. Classic, absolute classic from Johnny Clark, one of his biggest hits. Another huge anthemic classic, and another Bunny Lee production, Let the Power Fall on I by Max Romeo. Max Romeo was associated with Bunny Lee very early in his career. They had cut the rude tune Wet Dream, which was a hit in the UK. By the early 70s, Max Romeo was moving into a more rootsy, more socially conscious Rastafarian phase of his career, as many other artists were at the time. 1972, election year in Jamaica, hotly contested. There was a series of songs, many by Junior Biles, which were thinly veiled endorsements of Michael Manley and his PNP, or People's National Party, to win the election, which they eventually did, and in opposition to the ruling JLP, Jamaican Labour Party. And this was one of those tunes, Let the Power Fall on I. They often took kind of a biblical metaphor. Power version, the Hippie Boys, Bunny Lee production. This song and some of the other ones got Bunny Lee in a bit of trouble with political gunmen. Apparently showed up outside his house, fired off a few shots. He was wounded in the hand. And keeping with Max Romeo, but moving to Lee Perry, Three Blind Mice, absolute classic on the Upsetter label. Three Blind Mice reworks the old nursery rhyme to tell the story of the narrator going to a dance, and it gets busted up by the police bursting in, and everybody runs like three blind mice. Version side by King Tubby. Unfortunately, this side, the version side, is the only one that doesn't play very well. Some skips and sticks. But other than that, all these singles are in really nice condition and got them for a great deal. And that song, Three Blind Mice, appears on the Another Blood and Fire compilation. Great one. Open the Iron Gate by Max Romeo. Blazing Lee Perry production. So that is some recent 45s. Hope you enjoyed. I'll have some more in future videos. But thanks for tuning in. And take care, everybody.